Say hello to my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Northern Lad Reviews. I'm a Northern lad and I like to do film reviews. Now, every now and then I get asked about films that I've not seen that are people's favourite films. There's obviously a lot of films out there and I've not seen all of them.
You don't say!
In fact, there are some films that are super popular that I've just, over the years, maybe overlooked or not a chance to watch. So in this series, I'm going to be watching other people's favourite films to see if I enjoy them just as much as they do. Now, to start this series off, I wasn't sure what film to go for. And I was, looking through Netflix, looking through Sky and seeing what films are out there. And I came across this one. It wasn't going to be the first one that I was going to do, but when I saw it, I thought, oh my God, yes. I've never seen this film and I've wanted to watch it for a long time. So, what better excuse to put on Scarface. Now, just a warning as well, this is going to be a spoiler-ish review. There are going to be spoilers in there. So if you've not seen Scarface and, you don't want to know what happens in it, then maybe, turn away now, go and watch it, and then come back to this video. Scarface is directed by Brian De Palma and stars Al Pacino. Straight away, when I watched this film, about 15-20 minutes in, I thought, this all looks really familiar to me. Have I seen this before? No, I've not seen the film before, but what I have done is I've played the game Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now, if you've played that game and you've seen this film, you will know what I'm talking about because the game Vice City really pulls a lot of inspiration from this film. And I really appreciated that. I went into this not really knowing what to expect, but when I saw the story beats that sort of were similar to the game GTA Vice City, I really loved that even more. The first thing I want to say about this film is it's super cool. I was watching it thinking, how have I not seen this before now? Like, the way that they dress, the places that they go, like the nightclubs and like the houses that you see that they all live in because they're super, super rich from being super crime bosses and stuff. It was like really cool stuff. If I'd watched this when I was a teenager, it would probably have been one of my favourite films. So yeah, that was like a massive plus. The general storyline is a rags to riches storyline. So, if you think of the great rags to riches stories from the past, I think immediately of Rocky. That's probably my favourite underdog story. But this really is it rivals it in every way, if not better than as an underdog story. The one thing I really like as well about this is you see the rise of Tony Montana, Al Pacino's character, but you also see his fall as well. And the fall is as interesting, if not more interesting, than his rise to prominence in the crime world in Miami. The cast in this film as well is pretty star-studded, with the likes of Michelle Pfeiffer in this, who I had no idea was going to appear. And then every now and then there'd be a new person appear that I'd seen in other films. When Frank, the crime lord, turns up, and it's him out of Big. Do you know the guy who was dancing on the piano with Tom Hanks? It was him. And then a little bit later on, the guy from Ghostbusters 2 popped up. The guy who was in the court scene when he was putting them to trial.
And have you learned a mistake?
Now, I know these guys have been in absolutely loads of films, but they're just the films that I remember them from. So it was nice, every now and then, it was just a new person would appear who you wouldn't expect. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. Oh, it proper sounded like I was about to do the Fresh Prince rap then, did it? It's not happening. We'll cut that out. Oh. So I'd like to talk a minute about Al Pacino's performance as well. He really slays it in this film. I mean, I've seen him in other films, you know, other gangster films, even crime films, The Godfather, for example, but he plays such a different part in those films. I really like his energy in this one, and I really like the fact that the writing takes you in so many different directions. He's not an overly likable character in many ways, but every now and then he has this redeemable moment. For example, when they're going to assassinate that guy by blowing his car up, and then the guy's wife and kids get in the car with him, he basically kills the guy who's controlling the bomb to stop him from killing the wife and kids, to show that he's got, you know, even though he's a really sort of bad guy, he still has these morals, and it does make you root for him still, even though he is extremely flawed as a character. So I really appreciate that kind of writing and that kind of character story. The other thing as well that I want to talk about is the relationship between him and his sister. Throughout the film, I was thinking to myself, he's really overprotective, like almost as if he like sort of liked her, like he wanted to be with her.
I'm going to throw up. I think I'm going to throw
Don't throw up.
So then, towards the end of the film, when she actually starts thinking that as well as a character, and she's saying, look, if you don't want any other man to have me, it must be because you want me. I was like, bloody hell, did not expect that film to go there. So, you know, fair play to him. That's a pretty, you know, dark, risky move, but it was interesting nonetheless. Definitely my favourite part of this film is the last 20 minutes when all the bad henchmen are trying to get into Tony Montana's house, like to try and kill him and all his henchmen. It's really exciting, that. Really like bloodthirsty, there's cocaine, there's guns, it's just manpower. And yeah, it was pretty cool to watch. There was the guy who killed him with the sunglasses on, where he had like a really stern face. He was like the Terminator or something. I wanted more of him. If there was any criticism that I would have about it, it would just be that guy looked cool, and he got quite a lot of screen time in the last 5 minutes because he was like the one who was going to kill Tony. I wanted a bit more of a backstory because I don't think we even find out his name or anything. So if I had to have one criticism, and believe me, who am I to criticise a film of this quality? I would just say I'd want a little bit more of that character because he seemed dead interesting to me. So overall, Scarface was an amazing film. I loved it. And I can really see why it's so many people's favourite film. It totally makes sense. It is awesome. And I'll definitely be watching it again sometime. It's going to be one of those films that I think I'll come back to over and over again, like so many epics are. That's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments your favourite film. Maybe if I've not seen it, I could probably talk about it in the future. Or vice versa, maybe there's a film that everyone else seems to have seen that's their favourite that you've never seen. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe to this page if you enjoyed the video, and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.